Hi, Warriors. Good Freaky Friday. We're going to call Fridays Freaky Fridays. You guys like that? Hi, Mike, Glenn, Ingmar, Brand, how are you? Hi, AJ, James, Mark, how are you? Start with K first, sure.
Morning, Dale. Morning, everybody.
Okay, K, how are you, my
Yeah,
trading
not too
warrior
bad.
brother? All
Is it
right.
Halloween? Is it
Yeah.
Halloween?
Is it Halloween?
Yeah,
It's
it's Halloween.
every day is Halloween in this business.
Friday is a Halloween day.
So, where do you want to start, buddy?
Oh man, I mean, I well, I mean, there's just too much going on. But I mean, the yesterday we had like a big dump in risk, right?
Yeah,
It's been a bit going on the bank side of things, and they had
yeah.
the equity market roll over, whether it's the local or the mid or the small cap banks, or, but even the bigger banks got hit. There was this talks going on that the banks started to go in quite bigger amounts to the Fed lending facility again. Biggest 2 day pickup in since the COVID started.
Remember, we were talking about this a month ago.
Yeah, but I mean,
The repo. Uh,
yeah, but we were that was a bit early, perhaps. Yes, I mean it's
no,
all.
it started a while ago.
Well, yeah, but the market didn't trade it, did it? I mean,
The credit spreads have widened out pretty good.
yeah, but yesterday really things started to ramp up on
Yeah,
that side, and that was like really what hit Asia as well
yeah.
overnight. But then,
Global.
yeah, but then in the last hour or so, Trump came out saying that tariffs with China won't stay high, and that he's definitely meeting with Xi. We don't have the confirmation yet
Yeah,
from the Chinese, but for sure the market is now really reacting to it. Gold's come off $50 since.
yeah,
Yeah, silver lost a buck. Risk is going up again, although in FX wise, FX terms, it is going higher, but not really ramping higher on the risk side. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this market right now. But yeah,
what are you doing about it?
I bought well since the yen actually got onto the risk bus finally. I actually bought Euro this morning because the Ishinokai, which is the other party in the opposition, is seemingly close to a deal with the LDP Takaichi, and so she will likely become the next prime minister over there. So if we think that risk may be doing better on the back of what Trump declared as well, maybe the yen crosses could be a decent one to have. I'm not sure about the dollar yen. Yeah, of course, dollar yen is the main driver, but I'm not sure about the dollar going into the weekend because you guys have like massive protests and marches there over the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Coming. So I'm not yet sure about if I want to have dollars in this scenario. But yeah, I think on the yen side, from next week on, we should be trading Takaichi again. But I just wanted to eliminate the dollar side of things, so I did euro yen. On the euro dollar, we had a small double bottom formation which hit the target today above 117.15. We also hit the 117, nearly 117.30 kind of resistance that I had in there. So that's coming off a little as well. I think euro dollar is really going to range trade. Continue to range trade. When you're long or short, don't forget to take your profits in that pair, I would say.
Okay. I took profits in Aussie down here.
Nice one.
I still think that we're headed towards this
Yeah.
line,
This
but
morning, again, this morning, like the other day, it was really looking very offered when we walked in Europe on the Asia close, and we were back on that 64.40 there, and was really looking very offered. But then, of course, Mr. Trump came up with the risk positive.
He didn't like the overnight action in S&Ps. He had to come out and say that,
Yeah, well, that's what we were saying. I mean, Hassett
right?
then added a bit to the story. The plunge protection team was out in force this morning.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
yeah.
So I just wanted to, give a little market history on silver. I think it looks pretty heavy. Anyway, does anyone out there know what ended the Hunts brothers squeeze
Oof.
and put in a top uh, so that silver peaked at 50? Anyone remember the reasons?
No, I don't.
Blake?
Actually, I don't, Dale. I do
Oh,
not.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, all
What
right.
you know.
Yeah. Well, I believe it was yesterday the exchange doubled margins. So that's
Yes.
but that's not what ended it. They tried that too. It worked for a little while. But what finally put in the top was they changed the rules to silver was liquidation only.
Oh,
Oh.
yes.
Okay, so I mean, there's no buy orders.
Yeah, but
I mean, if you're long, the only thing you could do is sell,
are we?
and yeah, you
I
have
have
to
a question
liquidate
for you,
everything.
and I have a question for you, Dale. Do you think today we're in a market where they would impose such thing?
Yeah, I think yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I'm hearing that there's already capital controls happening in Europe. Um,
Huh?
that they're, as far as banking and how much you could pull out of your account, different countries, banks are limiting your access to your funds. It's happening here in the US too. I mean, I see videos all the time
Mhm.
where people go in, they go, I'd like to cash out, and they don't let them, and then they flag them.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
But if you transpose that to stuff like silver, it would be the other way around. You can't take out everything. So I don't know. I wouldn't know.
yeah.
Maybe still a step.
Well, we're not that far away. I think in the next, year or so, you'll come
Mm,
on the show and be talking about the impact of capital
yeah,
controls.
very possible. Very possible.
So, all right. So, the Fed, the SOFR rate came down from 4.7 to 4.2. Where's it at now? Because it must have been the Fed to take the SOFR rate down. Started last week.
Uh,
Anyone know? Okay, I don't know. That's why I was asking the question. All right. So euro reversing.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we're still in a range, I think, on the euro. I mean, the 115.5 was a bit too low. Not sure there is too much reason in the euro itself to trade above 117.30.50 right now. So we will see. We will see with the rest. I Yeah, and it's one of those that can trade the range for longer. I would say if you trade risk on off also in today's market, there's better pairs to trade perhaps than euro dollar or maybe you trade crosses also. But I don't see it drop too far either on that euro dollar. Not today at least. Not with what's to happen over the weekend over in the US. Still, the market will pay attention to it.
I tell you what, it's getting so crazy. You don't know what's real on YouTube or not. So I skim them.
Forget it.
And there's one guy was saying that over the weekend, Trump is going to have the Navy out on the West Coast, and it's I think an anniversary for the Navy. I don't know, 200, I don't know how many years, and that they were going to lob shells into Pendleton to commemorate it. and had
What?
be.
Sorry. Sorry,
It's
man.
probably,
You can't, you
anyway.
got to stop watching that shit on YouTube, buddy. I'm sorry. You get
And they
pulled
had to
down in like
close.
some, you're like my mom, man. She gets pulled down in some dark, deep corners of the interweb.
Well, don't be on the I-5 because they're going to be shutting down a
Okay.
second. All
Okay.
right. Anyway, just wanted none of my
Oh,
friends to get
for
caught
crying
in a
out loud.
traffic jam for the missile show.
Oh,
I know. I
geez.
mean, someone really said they had a scoop, and that was it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what a world!
A fun fact.
What
I
now?
uh, I was in the convoy that unloaded the largest amount of nuclear bombs from Guam as we were taking them from Tinian to back to the United States back in 1992. I was in the actual convoy. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yes, and I have six fingers on my left hand, which is also problematic. But anyway,
All
so
right. So why don't we get to this? The only market that really hasn't recovered, and S&Ps were going to be included before this um, recent news from Trump. But here we are retesting, pretty close to retesting the spike low. Um, I know people looking for lows here around 100, but it is a weak sister in the market. It's almost like what happened last week has caused people to pull in their horns.
breaking 107,000 was not bullish, and it
Yeah.
is. You're right, Dale. It's been underperforming a lot.
I'm
And
I'm not trading crypto. I'm not looking much at crypto, but when I see the moves that happened of late in stuff like the metals, and then everybody say like comparing them to metals, etc. I think we found the real stores of value in the market, and they are not Bitcoin. They are rather the real stuff that the people can put their hands on.
Hold. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's the proof now.
okay.
I
All
wouldn't
right,
disagree at all.
yeah, I mean, now,
No, yeah. Oh yeah.
now,
I mean, when everything because I think people when they talk about this big story about and I'm not going to spend much time about on it, but when the people talk about this big debasement story and you have to
yeah,
be in Bitcoin and you have to be in the blockchain, I agree with that. But you can't to me what you only can do it in a market that gently zooms on. You don't really, for the longer term, I mean, you can't do it in a market where everything goes bananas, like the risk is now. Um, and Jean-François. Okay, no, but that's what I mean by the real store of value is still when the shit hits the fan, you're still going to have to get back to real assets and Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good things in Bitcoin, crypto, Ethereum, etc. But when we are in situations like now, I'm really not surprised that the thing lost $20,000 dollars. Like what is it, 15% or so? I'm really not surprised at all.
okay. So with silver turning, something I noticed intraday that you know how we all asked what would be the reason that silver would ever come down because dollar's a little squishy, rates are going down, which supportive of gold. But I noticed intraday yesterday, and I think it was here, that when the market first started selling off, I had a swoosh yesterday. Silver came off about 80 cents. It was here. Silver came off 80 cents before it rallied to make new highs. So it's going to take some type of real a swoosh in the market, I think, to take
Yeah,
silver down. I just noticed that they both traded together. Gold it didn't impact as much, but silver came off while they were, in the old days they would have called it a fast market in
yeah,
S&Ps, where brokers aren't held because things are just, There's not a lot of bids or offers. So just something to keep in your
Mm.
head.
I think
So,
yeah, and the sensibility in silver has changed as well, where silver used to outperform gold when the market was kind of doing okay, or when the
yeah,
world was kind of doing okay. Now it's kind of the opposite. There's this crying shortage of supply, driving the prices up. But I somewhere, I agree with you. We're coming to a point where I would not be surprised one day or another, um, that supply that demand now at one stage to be filled, and all of a sudden the demand dries up, and we are seeing a big correction. I
yeah.
completely I completely agree with that, and also this, yeah, I mean the
Gold
reason
silver
behind it.
ratio bottomed. So it isn't always directional, but it
No.
is good about the ratio.
Mm.
But it can also be directional. So this looks like
I
it bottomed to me.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it a driver for anything else. That's the issue now. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
gold,
I'm not
silver,
calling it a
maybe
driver,
gold,
but
silver, yes, but I wouldn't say that silver is going to be a driver for other markets. That's what I mean.
oh,
I
I'm just saying that there's a period of underperformance in silver, is what this is saying. That's coming up, which is happening today.
maybe.
You have gold, then no, it is. Gold's down 0.33%, and silver's down 1.6, which
Yeah,
is
just
weaker.
going a lot faster. Just going a
Yeah.
lot faster, huh?
Okay, well, I believe it's an important thing to pay attention to if you're a metals trader, just like paying attention to euro pound to get your preferred longs and shorts between the two. And having direction on this right will give you your preferred longs and shorts between gold and silver. If you're reading it right, it's important if you're a metals trader, in
I
my
feel like I've been a
extremely
metals trader
accurate.
I feel like I've been a metals trader the last 24 hours, that's for sure. So,
Yeah, good.
yeah.
How do you like the spreads?
They're
How are your
they're
fills?
fast freaking moving, very fast moving. I'll tell you that much.
Do you put
Very.
in limit? You go market on any of this stuff in
I just
this?
did just a moment ago, but mostly I try to get in limit orders. It's
Yeah,
but it's moving so quick. The spreads are covered real quick, and that's just with
yeah,
Thinkorswim. I can only imagine what some of these CFDs do, and I have
yeah,
Thinkorswim's pretty good as far as futures go.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Okay,
so.
well, I'm going to surrender the charts and get ready for Tracy is coming. She'll be here today,
Oh,
and
I forgot Tracy's coming today. That's right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll have some hang around and ask some of the questions you want to ask her.
Yeah, yeah. Kman, I want to go back to the dollar yen just, and I'm going to do it from a selfish point of view, because I just basically went long dollar yen this morning when it was when I saw it pivoting off of this channel support. So tell us what's happening with the over the weekend with the LDP. There's some sort of negotiations happening right now, right?
I think it's nearly done. Takaichi is probably going to get it. LDP and CDP, the two biggest parties, have agreed to hold the vote on the 21st. So that leaves the opposition 3 days to get their act together. But Komeito has said that they won't vote for an opposition leader. Ishin Nokai, they will likely strike a deal with the LDP to go into a coalition, and the rest they can't form a decent coalition anyway. So I guess it's a done thing for Takahashi will get it.
Okay, thank you very much. I was just wondering, I know you were trying to update us on the flow show, and as I was, fumbling around doing other things, because Ryan was out as well. So thank you for handling the flow show on your own. Ryan's got the flu, unfortunately. He got it from his kids. But I was trying to gather the entire story while, also managing trades and everything else. So
Mhm.
thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
Um,
and
Go
the
ahead.
rest is a risk player. The yen has
Yeah.
traded 2 days, I would say. 2 days now. The risk burst a bit uh, back on the risk, as I was saying. Like if you look at which is actually been, if nothing else would happen, like the politics in Japan. I mean, what we are
Yeah.
seeing in yen here is a logic move because you see equities coming down, commodities coming down, um, risk getting sold off. Yen really went onto the risk bus for a couple of days. But I think once the weekend is over, maybe we are going to trade the politics again. I don't wouldn't think that we are going to spike higher in all yen pairs, but because the market knows now that it's a 99% done thing, but it may start to be a longer spun out move again, where the yen is gradually going to weaken again.
Well, speaking of risk, let's just really quick, and Dale, I want to make reference to this because you talked about Bitcoin, which I think is very important as well. But notice how we're trying to create a higher low in the S&P
Yeah,
in this rising channel. We didn't take out the lows from obviously last Friday. I would also argue that you got a bit of a harmonic setup here as well. And it set us up for a bit of a reversal. And obviously these headlines when you have Trump out there saying that 100% tariffs are unsustainable and they're not going to stick with China, you got the market recovering on the heels of that. That doesn't mean that the war is not going to rage on in the very near term, but what that is at least giving traders some pause as far as hold on one second, just closing out my goal.
yeah.
I just scalped
Well,
gold
one
short.
thing you could say about that chart is so far we had a failing rally, support held, and if that support line gives out, your blue line,
Yeah.
that's your signal.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree with you, Dale. I think this is the level where you could call it the bull bear line. When you get below that, you're bearish. Period. End of story. You don't, no questions asked. But unless that breaks, you have to like I'm in the sell rally camp, so I'd love to see like a spike back up towards 67.50 and just be on the short side of the S&P somewhere up here. I don't know if we're
Could
going to get
happen.
it, but that's how I'm going to play it versus buying dips because when I'm buy dips, instead of buying dips in the S&P, I'd rather buy the yen that's got or sell the yen, buy a dollar yen if you will, that has a story behind it, which Kman has clearly outlined here in the last few minutes. Another risk currency that I think is really important that's kind of gone under the radar is going to be the Euro Swiss. If you take a look at the support now, this is really critical levels. That you want to talk where the Swiss National Bank is probably playing a little bit of defense. That's as we close in on this 92 cent level. You can see these spikes back in August of 2024, November of 2024, back here, April 2025. We got down here, below or close to 92 cents. I started going long this morning and I've already picked some up and I'm looking to add on a break back above. So, and if you guys don't know all these positions that I'm in or Kman's in or a lot of our different traders, you can see exactly how I've been trading gold this morning. Got short, stops at break even, closed it out for 40. I closed or opened all these yen pairs on the long side, and last night I closed my euro dollar for 92 pips up at 117. And I am looking to buy dips in the euro, but I'm looking to buy dips a little bit lower. So if you don't, I never ask and never tell people you should do exactly what I do or do exactly what K-Man does. I mean, I took losses in the Aussie and the Kiwi last night. I took 10 pips off loss on each one of those, even though I made 90 in the euro. But I take losses just by like anybody else. But understanding why we're doing what we're doing, when we're trading, what we're trading, having that understanding isn't so you can replicate what we're doing. It's so like, oh, this is the bias of these guys. Maybe I should take a look and having some ideas. Sitting at home on your own and not, just kind of fumbling around. Having a community like what we do here in Forex Analytics, you can see we're talking all morning long. That's me, McLovin, selling yen this morning. But we have conversations all day long in the Forex Analytics community. So make sure you're jumping in with us and having these conversations as well. So let me ask you this, Ryan, sorry, Kman. As far as the euro goes, I know you were talking about this morning. You saw
Yeah,
the double bottom completed,
yeah,
hit the 50% retracement. We've
yeah.
completed the flag. It's over. Are you done with the euro here?
No, no, no.
Okay.
I'm patiently waiting to see if we get back to 116, 30, 50 and try it again.
You know what? That's exactly where I'm looking because this
Well,
level right
yeah,
right here is going to be really pivotal, I think, in the market.
yeah. I think under 116, I don't really see the reason why right now. So yeah, I let most of mine go. I was long from below 116, and then I let most of mine go and managed to sell not too far from that 117 and a quarter. So now I'm yeah, just being patient, seeing what the US morning brings because it's you guys are moving stuff around lately, so it's going to be interesting again.
Just saying how much I love the Trump market. You may like or loathe President Trump, but man, the volatility he puts in this market is second to none.
He
This is
moves
this is
markets.
opposite of the Biden market. So that's for sure.
Yeah, the
So
sleepy, as he calls him, the sleepy Joe market was one for the long termers. The Trump market is one for the hit ask questions later traders.
Exactly. So, hey, Steve, I see you're in here. Steve, you have any thoughts as we go into the weekend? I mean, there's a lot of volatility. S&P is still grinding out this rising channel. Anything that captures your attention this morning?
Um, we got another rejection yesterday from equity indices. I was expecting that. I'm expecting that we should be pushing even lower from here. I know that we're recovering the pre-market losses as we speak, but I would want to see at least a lower low in equities. Having to do with metals, I know that so far today's price action will open again the conversation about a potential reversal. But I need to say once again that although, of course, they're in desperate need of pullbacks, we've seen this type of price action happening twice during the past 10 days. And in both cases, bulls stepped in immediately. People need to realize that there's been a tectonic shift in how people understand the metals trade, right? Uh, Even people that like Diamond came out the other day and he said that for the first time in his career, Jamie Dimon, right?
Yeah.
He he understands that there is a semi sane argument to own some gold, right? Um, Now,
Well, he's not the sharpest tool in the tool shed.
I mean,
If it's taken, if it's
this
I,
probably
taken him
makes
this
him
long,
extremely this probably makes him extremely stupid because if you go back 25 years, many people don't realize it, but if you go back to periods of 20-25 years where we currently are, gold has overperformed even the S&P.
yeah.
There was always there was always, as long as I'm alive and old enough, an argument to own metals. Just people didn't appreciate the reasons, and the reasons
well,
are fundamental, right? And these reasons haven't gone away. Now, when people like Diamond acknowledge that now they understand there is some reason,
Yeah.
you can understand that a lot of people are waking up to this reality now, and these people are going to be bidding metals even further. Yes, of
well,
course, we're going to have pullbacks on the way, right?
The retailers, retail physical dealers, Blake put up some type of, I think, an ad from one promoting silver tripling from here. which is
Oh, yeah.
possible, but when you start getting that stuff, Steve, and on CNN, they're talking about Aaron Burnett on CNN is talking about historical highs and uh, compared it to, I think it was Wizard of Oz, and it was supposed to be silver slippers instead of ruby.
Silver
You
was
know what I
back.
mean? Huh?
Silver was back at 50 in
Yeah,
2011.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, you tell me, Dale, how much is $50 today
Oh,
in
and
terms of 2011?
yeah, right. So in constant dollar terms, yeah, it'd be a lot higher.
I mean, in realistic terms,
Yeah.
it isn't it equivalent to 30? Best case scenario, 35.
Oh, yeah. You mean
Okay.
premium over where it is?
So is silver really expensive at the moment? Because I can argue that it isn't. I mean,
Yeah,
in the very short term, it's extremely overbought. There is no questioning that.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
talking now about the medium to long term horizon. Is silver in 2025 at $50 really expensive? I don't think
No,
so.
no. I think we'll go triple digits.
I think so as well. I
So
think so as well.
let's hope for a nice little correction to buy into it.
Yeah, at some point we might have it, but as it seems, people have started becoming really impatient, meaning
Yeah.
they're not even waiting for corrections anymore.
Well, I think if you get a correction in the market, it'll take it down.
Yes, of course. And we might go back to 50. We might go even a little bit lower
Yeah.
than 50. But if you ask me, I don't think we'll have many more opportunities in the future to buy silver below 50 again. We might have some, but I think we're running out of them.
Time will
You know,
tell.
I wanna go back and well, actually, let me ask one question really quick. I just want to jump in. Have you looked for Tracy yet?
Yeah, she's not here yet.
Oh, she's not here yet. Okay. I wanted to say, you look like historically in, just going back to gold and silver, longer term. I mean, how could you look at this chart, like, just look at that chart and say it's, there's no reason to be a buyer of gold. Like I
You
don't.
know what this chart is, Blake?
So parabola.
It's more or less the inverse of the purchasing power of the dollar and other currencies. That's what you're looking there.
Right.
That's what you're looking at there. It's not that people that owned gold from $300 are currently super rich. It's that they've preserved their purchasing power more or less.
And Paul's going to
Creation of
ease.
central
And Paul,
banks.
And you know
yeah,
something else?
Paul's going to ease again at the
Gold
end of the
is
month.
gold is up on the year more than 60%, silver more than 80%. Do you know when the last time that we had years like that in these metals? When was it?
79. 79.
In the 70s. And what was happening in the 70s, Dale?
Right before Volcker got in and crushed it, very severe inflation.
Yeah, but what was in essence what were we? I wasn't included. I was born in the 1980. But what were people experiencing in the 1970s?
Yeah, high stagflation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And trust me, this is exactly what we would be experiencing as well if inflation was reported honestly. Because if inflation was reported honestly, we would know that we have a lot more inflation than we currently supposedly have. And because of that higher inflation, growth would be negative as well.
Yep. Well, Greenspan's the last Fed chairman I remember that watched gold,
Yeah,
and that it meant
exactly. That
something
was
to him.
that's what was his motto, right? That
Yeah,
I'm looking at gold to know if we're in trouble or not.
yeah,
And in my opinion, nothing has changed since. If you look
right.
at gold, you know
We're in
exactly the
trouble.
reality of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, this parabolic move surprised me the way this last couple weeks. I never, I thought 3680 was ambitious from 3,000. So,
Yeah.
that was my calls there, because of when it broke out that triangle it was in all those months, but I didn't expect this. I know guys talking 4,700 before this wave is over now in gold.
Just eyeballing this. I have just completed since the last like major low, which I say major low, that was November of last year. We have now completed an equal leg move. That doesn't mean that it can't go higher. That just means that
Yeah.
it's definitely extended at this point. I would not be chasing it higher at these levels. That doesn't mean it can't see 5,000 either. It's
Yeah.
just
It can.
yeah,
Although you're absolutely right, Blake. There's no risk reward to be buying here. It makes zero sense,
right.
right? Where would you place your stop loss?
Right. I mean, yeah, if you're buying it, you're putting stop losses below the previous day's low.
Yeah,
That's the only
something
way
like
you can
that.
trade it.
You
Which
gotta
I
risk
mean,
$100
it's
at
more
Yeah.
like a
least.
yeah, it's more like
Well,
casino mentality then, right?
You
Yeah.
trade I'm because I'm trading I have to trade these micro contracts because it's so volatile. You trade a couple of micro contracts, three, four, five of them, and you risk $100, you're out 10 grand. I mean, it's like I mean the volatility is so great. I can't trade full contracts right now. I mean, not me personally, because I'm not somebody who's going to sit there and lose 20 grand because gold turned in 5 minutes. I don't have that kind of pocketbook. Maybe some of you guys at home do, but I'd look at some of these contracts now. It's like, holy crap, I can't trade like even five of those because if I lose $100, I'm going to get smacked. I mean, that's going to hurt. I'll go out and sell my kid's car out front in front of our house. I mean, these that's the type of volatility we're seeing in gold right now. So
Well, he won't
speak, speak-
know. He won't know until Christmas.
that's true. When he comes home, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Good point. Uh,
You
so,
like that, huh, Steve? All right. All right.
let me
And
text.
then he's gonna pretend that somebody stole it. Oh my God, is it gone?
Oh, son. Anyway, all
We
right.
have to report
Let me
it.
text Tracy and make sure she's coming.
Tracy, when I'm with you. Go ahead, Google the song Tracy, everybody, and play it during the interview. Oh,
That's gonna
there's.
be an awkward interview. I can tell you
Is
that
that
much.
is that Dale Briscoe? Dale B?
Probably. Yep, there he is.
Hey,
Hey Dale,
oh,
how you doing?
hey, how are you?
All right. Just I'm throwing out some text really quick. So hey, I know we talked a little bit about it. Let's go back to it's Friday. No day to be a
hey,
hero, in my opinion. Kman, what are you looking to do today,
it's
trading wise?
Friday, fish day. We are going to fish for bottoms in everything. No, I'm joking.
Bottom fishing Friday. I like it.
Exactly. What am I looking at today? Well, I've already said it. I'm a little long euro yen. I'm okay to build up on it a bit. If we get another wave of risk off before the week is over. And then yeah, I think in the next what is it?
How about these
30, 40
gaps
points.
here?
Huh?
Do you worry about these gaps here?
No, I'm not a
Okay.
gap trader. I'm not a gap filler. No, I've never looked at it, and I won't ever look at it. This is something that is not part of my trading dictionary. I know a lot of people do, and if you look over historically, gaps always get filled. But I mean,
Always.
but is it today or is it in 3 years? So I mean,
Yes, that's the
I don't know.
question.
I mean,
There's
if
a propensity
they
to, and
don't,
if it doesn't do it intraday or within the first
uh,
couple of days, then you have to imagine that those gaps are going to get filled somewhere down the road. I mean
yeah,
that
well, I mean,
it's because it's that natural tendency. Every trader's like, oh, it's going to fill its gap. It's going to fill its gap. So everybody's trying to make it fill its gap. So
uh,
self-fulfilling prophecy. But if it doesn't happen, then once too much time has passed, then you just look at those gaps as being they're unfilled gaps. They'll get
yeah,
filled at some point.
yeah,
They should fill their cavities,
and they
these people.
and you're talking about effects. I mean, let's not forget that a lot of those things, terminology, come from the equity markets. In equity markets, you may see that filling gaps, etc. But you're talking about effects. I mean,
Yeah.
who's going to? who is going to willingly sell euro yen to fill a gap down to 173 and a quarter? I mean, who in the market? Just let me know who, and don't say the retail traders, because we are at best 5 or 7% from of market volumes. I mean,
At
nobody.
best, we are probably 0.5 to
No, no, no. We are a bit
0.7%.
more. We are a bit more, but
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just
but
joking.
it's at best. So there's 95% out there who can just, I mean, do the opposite, you know. And that's why in FX I never ever trade gaps. Never. I've never done it, and I won't start. But no, I think it's reasonable. Also, well, looking at the Japanese elections.
Tracy's here.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. And
All
then
right.
yeah, euro dollar in the next 30-40 points, perhaps trying to pick some up.
I'm with you on the euro. I'm really hoping we see 116.50 again. I know you and I spun out of it overnight above 117. I was a little bit below that, but it's been a nice ride from down in the one. I owned it at 116 on my average, and I just want to buy it again. I still think that the euro is going to make a move towards 118, 119 before year end. So,
Yeah,
I still want to play it that way.
yeah. But on the
All right.
short end, don't forget to take profits when you see the range edges, you know, at least partially.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. All right. Well, hey, guys, make sure you all stick around. One of my favorite people in the markets is Tracy. She's here. And Dale's gonna have a great
Sing to
interview with
her.
Tracy. Hey
Oh,
Tracy, you got to tell us when does Landman season 2 come out? And B, when do all the Texas frackers go out of business, since we're so close to that 57 $55 level? Those are the two questions I have. So,
November 16th is Landman.
okay.
And so
At
season
least we
two
got that
premieres.
answer. At least we got that answer.
I am definitive on that answer. And as far as the other, we do have to hold here for some length of time. But as we saw in Q2 earnings, many have already slowed down their capex and stated that under 60, they would again reconsider that. So earnings calls will be very interesting when the oil sector pops up this this quarter.
Well, the good news is, as a U.S. based company, you only have to report earnings 2 times a year. So maybe we won't know. We're gonna be in the dark. So anyway, hey Tracy, glad you're here. Steve, Dale, Ron, Kman. Holy crap!
Rafa,
It's
Rafa.
Friday. Yeah, Anyway, hey, thanks guys for a great
Right.
week.
Have a
Thanks.
great weekend, guys.
Yeah, have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah,
Dale,
you too, Blake and Kay.
thanks,
Guys,
thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
have a good
Coach.
weekend. Welcome, Trace. How are you?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Listen, I want to tip my hat to your call on AG. You got a triple out of it. Are you still long? Do you take profits along the way, or what?
Uh, yeah, but I have taken profits along the way, but I still think that this trade will continue. So I will re-add on any significant dips.
Okay. I think a lot of people, and I know you're better than me at this. Most people are. Being able to hold positions. What is it that you do that gives you the patience and also being willing? You have to risk profits, or you know, um, you're not going to get the run. You're not going to be there for the run. So you have to learn how to live through giving profits back because long term you think it offers more potential. What's your self-talk like when you're holding a position?
I think, first of all, I do a lot of fundamental analysis. So, some of these trades, I'm early. And
Yeah, I know that one.
the market goes sideways or goes nowhere or maybe dips. And sometimes they take a very long time to play out. That said, if I'm convicted in my thesis that helps me hold. And again, I do scale out along the way to lock some profits in. And I do move up my stops as well too. So I'm not gonna
Okay.
let it come all the way back against me, right?
Okay. That's that your methodology to stay long is to trail stops.
Correct.
What's that?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, okay. So here's where Tracy was recommending AG First Majestic, right in this range. So that's a triple.
So yep,
What a move. What a
it's
move.
been a good trade.
Yeah.
You know, when
Um,
we talked about it, it had just made it over that 200-day and it retouched. I love those kind of trades. I love that kind of trade setup if it fits with my overall fundamental analysis as well.
okay. So here was the 200-day and the 50 were right there gapped up. So we were talking about gaps today. So anyone who's short AG looking for the gaps to be filled are broke and
Right.
they're home and they're homeless now,
You know, gaps,
or as they call the homeless now, to make it sound not as bad, they're the unsheltered. They're
yeah,
not
I'm not.
homeless; they just don't have shelter. All right, so go ahead, Trace.
Yeah, I'm not a big gap trade. Well, it depends on what the market is. And that would be, you know, if it does, I mean, gaps can go unfilled for years. But if,
Right,
you
that's
know,
what I mean. Yeah.
if you do see a gap and it gets filled and it fits your thesis, you know, that's always a good place to at least try a long with, you know, a rather tight stop. So,
Okay. So we know we've had all the metals, everything's moved except copper. And even copper's had a bit of a rally after its collapse. You like copper?
oh, I still like copper for over long term because the
Yeah,
fundamentals, you
yeah.
know, because we're going to have a supply deficit, et cetera. You know, it's just that um, with copper, you know,
Tariffs.
you have to know what's going on in the industry. You know, a lot of that first really run up before that huge dip, what had to do with dislocations at LME.
Yeah.
So you know, you kind of have to know what you're dealing with copper because it's a little squirrely trade.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's happened twice. Here's larger magnitude of it. But it sure looks like it's grinding its way back up. Let's get to your what used to be a huge focus of yours. I'm sure it still is. Where are you at on the oil trade?
Well, you know, personally, I think oil is going to be a story of 2026. This year, we know
Okay.
sentiment has been poor. I have not been a large participant in this market because sentiment's so poor. Obviously, it's trending down. And I think that there's this narrative in the market that we're going to have this huge glut. Now, this huge glut has not surfaced yet.
Mhm.
um, but you know, with trade wars and worries about slowdown in the economy and on and off again with China, you know, it's just really not a story for 2025. That said, I think it will be a story for 2026. Some of these oil stocks have been pretty beaten up, so I think that you can find some deals if you're trading the equities. Um, and, you know, right here, I just, you know, as far as actually trading oil, I don't really like it here. And I don't really see any kind of opportunity, at least for me.
Okay. So, what oils would you be looking at if, say, we got down to, some people are looking low 50s or something like that. What oils do you like at this point? Any?
So, you
Are you long
know,
any?
I am long a couple of Canadian producers. That's about it.
Okay. Okay. Anything on the nat gas front? Looks,
Nat gas, you know, I think it's still a great trade. You know, some of the names have run a lot. Because you know of the storage build out we're building in the Gulf, which is going to double by 2029. So I still like the nat gas story. I think it's great. As far as trading the price, you know, it's very difficult because, or it's very difficult to see nat gas prices hugely rise in the US just because of the sheer amount of nat gas that we produce, and
Yeah.
our oil wells are getting gassier. And so as far as trading that gas price, I don't see it spiking, which is great news for the equities. It's great
Consumers.
news for companies and consumers. And so, though I still think it's a story, I wouldn't expect a nat gas price squeeze anytime soon.
Okay. How about moving on to, are you doing anything in agricultural commodities? Because the grains all look pretty good to me. It's had a pretty nice rally in corn. And, there's nothing but bearish news in the beans with the farmers. Yet, to me, it has a decent look. And even wheat is trying to turn.
I
Anything
have
in grains or fertilizers?
no, I haven't. I traded fertilizers back in 2022. I have not really touched the grain or the fertilizer market since,
Okay.
to be honest with you.
Okay. Just getting back to crude for a second, Tracy. Have you seen the peace agreement between Iran and Israel and the U.S. Anywhere?
Have I seen the peace agreement?
Yeah.
Has there been a solid peace agreement?
No, that's my
Exactly.
point. All right. So I mean, there's still a state of war, right? Any geo risk? I mean, look, people have been talking about things for years that seem so far in the distance, like dollar crisis or 4,000 gold. And these were gloom and doomers. Are we in an era that if there is an Iran 2.0, that they would do something in the Straits of Hormuz? Because I hear they have military lined up there along the
Oh,
strait.
it's always a possibility. The problem with it is that they would be kind of cutting off
Cut-
their nose to spite their face, right? Because
Right.
uh, they need to move oil and gas through that strait too. So
Yeah.
it's always a possibility. I'm not never say never on that one, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I think it would be a last resort tool for them just because of that fact.
Okay. Well, desperate nations do desperate things, don't they? Sometimes.
Always. Like I said,
Yeah.
never count it out.
Yeah. Is there anything else that I haven't covered for you? You have a view on the dollar?
I have a view. Well, we kind of been, I mean, if you look at a longer term chart, we've kind of been rangy,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
96 to 99, let's call it. And I think this administration has said over and over again, they want a softer dollar, they want a lower dollar. So I think, um, unless something else comes into play, I don't really see this breaking out much to the upside because administration's going to do everything they can to kind of hold that dollar down.
Okay. Um, Anything you want to wrap with, or you want to talk about
Well,
how
it
things
looks
are,
like somebody
talk
somebody
about
just asked
Ninja?
somebody just asked a question about uranium. I still like the uranium trade. I think it's very difficult to trade uranium price if you're looking at the ETF, the Sprott ETF. I think it's very difficult to trade price. That said, I think that North American producers of either technology in the nuclear space and or uranium miners
Do you
still look
know,
really
do you
great.
know this one, Dennison?
Uh, I do not know Denison.
Okay. Uh, you were a platinum bull too last time you came on. I think we're having a little bit of a pullback today. Still looking for higher platinum.
So I think that it still has room to run. I personally like, it's run a lot since I've been talking about it. So I think any pause would be nice to kind of work off some of that bullishness. I would look for some sort of consolidation for a move higher. I don't like parabolic markets by any stretch of the imagination. So
Well,
I would like it to.
we sure have a bunch of them right now.
I know, right? So
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't chase the highs up here. So, I would wait for some sort of signal, some sort of pullback, some sort of consolidation in a range, and then move higher. Platinum tends to do that.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about how the show is going for you and working over at
Yeah.
Ninja Trading.
So yeah, Ninja Trader Live. Every morning I host a macro show with Anthony Crudele, Jim Cagnina, and Craig Shapiro. We have guests on to talk about all sorts of markets, uranium, agriculture, obviously index markets, and things of that nature. So, it's from 8 to 8:45 before the market opens. So if you want to stop by and catch a
Would
great
that
macro
be it?
show,
Okay,
do
so
that.
all right. So and what is this Renegade Resources?
Renegade Resources is my Substack. So I have
Okay.
some are paid posts, some are open posts. So feel free to peruse that, where I talk about natural resources, obviously. So silver, gold, copper,
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
Wasn't it sad to hear about Harold Malmgren?
Oh, that was, yes, that
Heartbreaking.
was
Yeah.
awful
Yeah.
news, awful news.
Because I
I
know
think
he was a big fan of yours. I know.
he was,
And
and he was on, I think his last podcast he did was mine, Drop
oh,
Markets. So
yeah.
if you go on Spotify or iTunes, you can catch his very last podcast.
Yeah. They don't make them like that anymore, Trace.
I know, absolutely. That is for sure. That was very, very sad.
And they don't make many like you either. Tracy, you're a pro. It's always great to have you. Talk to you. Great calls, and keep that stay in the zone.
All right. Thank you so
Always,
much.
always rooting for you.
You're the best. And likewise.
All right, so that's a wrap, everyone. You know you have to follow Tracy. Okay, I mean I don't even have to say it. It's it's rhetorical. So have a great weekend, everyone. Remember, don't just count your coins and your bars and anything else that hurts when it falls on your foot. Count your blessings. We'll see you all Monday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy, recharge, because I'm sure it's going to be wild again next week. Adios, everyone. You're very welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again, Tracy. You're welcome, Saloom. See you guys. See you, Golda.